Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Germany, and I just come over the UK Fruit Festival. And I'm a type 1 diabetes since 11 years. Yeah,
Okay.
and we just want to share our story.
Yes, my name is Vanessa. I'm Portuguese. I've been living here in the UK for 12 years. I've had diabetes for 15 years. I lose track. Yes, and I'm a type 1 diabetic as well.
Okay, so what does it feel like to have diabetes? How do you feel it? Or at least used to feel it?
Well, at least you always get to check your blood sugars, and yeah, you're not this normal eating people. So, and you always have to take care about your diabetes, because if you're exercising or if you have high blood sugar, it can really struggle you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you. I think you constantly have to think about the 3 variants that can affect your blood sugar levels, and you always have to watch out for those things. So what you eat, the insulin you take, and the exercise you do will have an effect. So it's constant work.
Right.
I always have the expression of you have to become your pancreas is not working, and you have to be the brain
For the pancreas.
for the pancreas that isn't working. So we have to do the maths. And
So how much insulin did you used to take a while back? Or, when you were younger?
I was used to take the double amount I'm using now. And as more as I ate the normal standard lifestyle food, the more I had to take. So it was getting kind of crazy amounts of insulin. Yeah.
Right. How many times a day did you need to inject? Or is it more like the amount you inject?
Yeah, it's about amount, and it's also amount. It's also about the time you take. I think I had about 13 injections, because if your blood sugar is out of control, you always have to take more insulin to get your blood sugar down.
So could that be 13 in one day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about you?
So a year ago, before I started eating a low-fat, a high-carb, low-fat diet, predominantly raw, I just give the example of numbers, but for instance, with my long-acting Levemir, I used to need 14 to 18 units in the morning and about 10 to 12 at night. And at the moment, right now, I'm needing 6 in the morning and 6 at night.
Wow.
So it's less than half.
So you're type 1 diabetic, both of you, and you have halved your insulin intake.
Yeah.
And how long ago is it that you changed something?
I mean, for me, the changes and the decrease in amount of insulin that I needed happened within a week of eating a low-fat diet.
Right.
It was the first week raw. Every day I was needing less insulin, and by the 7th day, I was at another fruit festival. I needed, at that time, maybe half the insulin.
Wow.
And also, besides the long-acting, you have the quick-acting insulin, Humalog, that you have. I mean, you have different insulins maybe that you have with your food, and my ratios there have changed as well. So I also need less insulin for the food, for the carbohydrate that I'm eating.
Right.
And yeah, those changes happened straight away.
Right. You both changed something radical, you know. And what was it exactly you changed?
Well, I had some juice fasting, and then I stepped into raw food, low-fat raw food diet from one day to another. Didn't know anything about it. Didn't know anything about being vegan. I couldn't even think about being vegetarian before. But I did it for health issues, and I yeah, I stay there until today.
And how long ago is it you started?
It's 1.5 years ago. Yeah.
Right. And what about you?
Yeah, I went vegan, I guess for ethical reasons to start with, 2.5-3 years ago, and I guess it's just one thing leads you to another. So I suddenly maybe 3 or 4 months into engaging with the vegan lifestyle, not only I began to notice changes, I'm then starting to read about health, and so I came across this at the time crazy fruity way of existing, and I just really went for it and I delved into it.
So what are you eating? Only vegetables, or when you say low fat, of course you don't eat nuts and oils and fatty things, but what do you eat?
Fruits and veggies all the time. Yeah, crazy amounts of fruits and veggies. Yeah.
But people say that if you have diabetes, you should be really careful with sugar, and fruit is high in sugar. So how does that add up? How does that work?
Well, doctors told me this also, and they were really scared about eating that much food. But now they are seeing that my blood sugar is much better. I'm close to normal, healthy people, so they really accept this lifestyle. And also, we just try to spread it away in Germany.
Right.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not. It's not known for doctors or diabetes people. Yeah.
Yeah, I think today they're sort of trying to treat diabetes by trying to reduce the amount of insulin that people take, and what ends up being the obvious thing is to have less sugar. So fruit and juices are kind of, and even the slow release, even rice and pasta, like people are being asked to keep those foods to a minimum, which means that to reach still their normal caloric intake, they're having to up the fats. And I think and it's maybe not recent science, maybe even, I don't know this exactly, but maybe I would imagine 50, 60, 70 years ago, it is known that fat is really the issue. And so by taking away...
Yeah, by removing the fat, then
fats.
it's okay to have all the fruit sugar.
Yes.
The key is really to remove the fat, because my friend is a naturopath. She speaks a lot to people about these things, also about reversing diabetes type 2, and you can really reverse diabetes type 2 by just cut out the fat, because you become more insulin sensitive without the fat. Yeah.
Right.
Dr. Neil Barnard has some really good videos on YouTube explaining exactly how everything works. And I think for me, and I guess this is an appeal for type 2 diabetics, is that it's so incredible what we have accomplished as type 1s, that I always just think if I was a type 2 diabetic, I would not have diabetes anymore. So, yeah, and again, like, such drastic changes, even just within the first week. It just happens like this. You take out your fats, and your insulin needs
goes
decrease.
down.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I know you also had some other thing you struggled with that you've overcome on this diet. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I had to struggle with some really bad kidney problems. They came from the diabetes. So they gave me tons of medication, putting my blood pressure as low as they can get to relax the kidneys. But this medication wasn't really good for me, because I can't get out of the bed in the morning and I felt really tired all the time. So also within this diet or within this lifestyle, I was able to heal my kidneys, and I don't take any medication anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, everything's gone.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how many % would you say you have decreased your insulin intake?
I think for the long-acting insulin, it's about the half amount, and for the fast-acting insulin, for the which you need when you have some food, it's I decreased it about 75%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah, I think it's similar, because I need a bit less than half of the long-acting. And I used to have, for the diabetics who are listening, if they understand, I had a 10 to 1, 10 grams of carbohydrate to 1 unit of insulin, and now I have maybe a 25 gram to 1 unit ratio. So I can't do the maths, but it's probably something similar, at least 60 or 70% reduction.
Wow,
We're
that's
amazing.
You are amazing. So, do you have a final good advice to somebody who is a type 1 or 2 diabetic and is struggling and thinking there's no hope? Like, what's your advice? Or
Cut out the fat.
Yeah, I feel like maybe long term, the best thing is to engage with a vegan diet to start with, because all animal products will have fat that you don't want to have in your body, but yeah, to sort of engage with the abundance that a fruity lifestyle has, to not feel bad or guilty that they can eat fruits and delicious sweet foods. But yes, predominantly the key is that you will need to bring your fats down, and great changes will will come.
great. Well, thank you so much for sharing your stories.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hvis du gerne vil vide mere om, hvordan du kan forbedre dit helbred, så er der 2 ting, du kan gøre lige nu. Det første, det er, at du kan abonnere på mig her på YouTube, og så vil du modtage videoer hver gang jeg laver en ny. Det andet, det er at gå ind på min hjemmeside og hente min gratis kom i gang guide, og samtidig vil du også modtage nyheder fra mig og endnu flere gode videoer, der kan forbedre dit helbred. Min hjemmeside, det er www.rask.raw.dk, og det eneste du skal gøre, det er at klikke på skærmen nu.